Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Kenta from American Hakko Products, and thank you for joining us on another episode of Eye on Hakko. Now for today's video, we have two brand new products that I'll be going over. One is a 3-port rework station. It's called the FX973, that's this station right here. And we also have a micro hot air rework station called the FR850, that's this station over here. As always, I'll be going over the features, the specs, the benefits, and also go over the how to use or the operation for each station. There's a lot of information to cover for each product, so we'll make it into a 2-part series. I'll go over the FR850 first, and then on the second part, I'll go over the FX973. Like I said, there's a lot of information to cover, so let's get right into it. All right, so here we have the FR850. Like I mentioned, it's our micro hot air rework station. But before we just go ahead and dive into the operation or the specs and features of the station itself, let me just say the new micro hot air FR850, it will be replacing the Hakko 851, which is our old micro hot air rework station. It's called the Hakko 851. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it. Just know that the 851, it was a very good station. It lasted a long time. It served its purpose, but there were things that needed to be upgraded, like the fact that it was a all analog control, whereas the FR850 now has a new digital display, better performance, those sort of things. So it was a time for an upgrade, and that's why we developed the FR850. So just understand that the FR850 will be replacing the Hakko 851. All right, so just by looking at the image that you should be seeing up on your screen now, in comparison to the 851, the new FR850, talking about its size or the footprint of the station itself, it's just about half the size of the old 851. So already you're saving a ton of space on top of your workbench. It's even about half the size of our competitors. And you'll notice that the 851, the iron holder was attached to the station itself, whereas on the new FR850, the iron holder is separate. So you're free to move around your iron holder and your handpiece to anywhere on your desk that seems convenient for the operator. This becomes useful, especially when you're working under a microscope. All right, so let's just start there. Now, let's start talking a little bit about the specs of the station itself. The FR850 now is a 105 watts of power. Now with that 105 watts of power, that's an increase in power. There's also a wider temperature range that you will find on the FR850. So now you can set anywhere from 50 all the way up to 600 degrees Celsius. In Fahrenheit, that's about 120 Fahrenheit all the way up to 1,150 degrees Fahrenheit. So a wider temperature range. It has a pump built into the station itself. And with that pump, it's capable of delivering anywhere from 1.5 all the way up to 5 liters per minute of airflow. It has a brand new series of nozzles. The new series of nozzles on the micro hot air FR850, they're now called NA01 series. Again, brand new series of nozzles on the FR850, and the new series of nozzles, they're called NA01 series. Now for the new nozzles, we have a total of 6 different shapes that you can choose from. We have the 1 millimeter in the straight and bent type. We have the 2 millimeter in the straight and bent type, and we also have a 3 millimeter in the straight and bent type. So in total, 6 different nozzles that you can choose from to use on the FR850. Airflow settings you can adjust on the FR850. Temperature settings you can adjust on the FR850. There's also the standard features that you'll find on all of our other Hakko stations. What am I talking about? I'm talking about features such as programmable preset temperatures. You can program up to 5 different preset temperatures on the FR850. You'll also find the temperature offset feature. You'll also find the sleep feature, the auto shut off feature. And you'll have the capability on the FR850 to also connect with the Hako Control software. I'll show you in the later part of the video. Completely new handpiece. The handpiece has an on and off switch, completely redesigned iron holder as well. So those are just going over the basic specs, features and benefits of the FR850. All right, so let's talk about the new series of nozzles on the FR850. Again, they're called NA01 series. It's a completely brand new lineup or series that you can use on the FR850. We have 6 total nozzles that you can choose from. The 1mm straight and bent, 2mm straight and bent, and 3mm straight and bent. So for example, how the numbering works. Like I said, it's called NA01 series. So the 1mm straight nozzle, for example, is called NA01-C10, right? And then the 1mm bent is called the NA01-CB for bent, 10, right? And then the 2mm is called NA01-C20. And then the 2mm bent is called the NA01-CB20. And then the 3mm, guess what that's called? It's called the NA01-C30 for the straight 3mm, and NA01-CB30 for the bent type 3mm. So again, a total of 6 different nozzles that you can choose from. All of them work on the newly designed handpiece, which is called the FR8501, a brand new, slimmer, lightweight handpiece. Very useful, easy use, especially when working under a microscope. You now have this yellow button on the handpiece itself. This was non-existent on the old 851s, but now you have it, that capability to turn on or off the heat at the touch of a button from your handpiece. So that's a new feature on the FR8501 handpiece. And also we have a completely redesigned iron holder. That's this guy right here. It's called the FH225. It's a completely redesigned handpiece holder. It has a nice weight to it, right? So it doesn't move around. It has total of 1, 2, 3, 4 slots on the holder itself. That's where you can keep extra nozzles as storage on the, there you go, on the holder. So those are those slots, 1, 2, 3, 4. The receptacle right here, it acts as a automatic detector for sleep. So you have that station turned on, right? Once you put it in the holder, it detects that it's in the holder and it cool itself down, right? Let me show you that again. So I press this button here on the handpiece. It's gonna start to, you'll notice that's heating up in temperature. It reaches 850. Once I put it in the holder, it detects it and it'll start to cool off, right? So that's that automatic sleep detection on the iron holder itself. To remove the nozzle from the FR8501 handpiece, there are actually some D-cuts that are cut into the nozzle themselves so that they catch onto the slots that are located here and here on the new iron holder. So what you do is you can locate the D-cuts and line it up to the slots and then remove the nozzle from the handpiece, right? And when you want to replace it with a new nozzle, you can select any one of these that you have in the tray and you can simply insert it all the way. I will point out that this is not in all the way. There's an O-ring that's located on the nozzle, so you got to make sure the O-ring goes all the way in, just like that. Now that's in all the way. So if you have trouble with your fingers to push it in all the way, there's actually like a built-in helper. There's 2 holes on the bottom part of the iron holder. One on top and one smaller hole located on the bottom. The bottom hole is for the 1 millimeter and 2 millimeter nozzle, and the hole on top is for a 3 millimeter nozzle. So if you're having trouble pushing the nozzle all the way in with your finger, then you can use this as a helper. Just locate it. It'll hit the collar of the nozzle, and you'll be able to insert the nozzle all the way in, just like that. One other additional feature that we added into the holder is that you are able to attach or connect a thermocouple, and you can connect that thermocouple to any one of our thermometers, whether it be the FG100B or FG101B if you're talking about our newer thermometers. It'll help you verify and measure the actual hot air temperature coming out of your hot air nozzle. So I have one attached here. There. So here you go. That's that thermocouple that you see there. All you have to do is align the end of your nozzle, maybe move it about like 5 millimeters away from the very end of that thermocouple and keep it steady in place. And then that thermocouple actually runs through the bottom of the station like so, and it's just connected to our FG100B tip thermometer. So this is a separate accessory that you can purchase, and you can use this to measure the actual hot air that is coming out from the nozzle. So if I turn the station on, I have a 1 millimeter nozzle, the NA01-C10 nozzle, so the straight type. And if I do max hold, then I have the airflow setting at 40, right? So you should know that with hot air, depending on the nozzle that you use, depending on the airflow setting that you use, depending on the location, very precise location of the nozzle in comparison to the thermocouple, that you will get differences in temperature. But so keep that in mind. But this is just one way that you'll be able to measure the actual hot air temperature that is coming out from your nozzle. So you can see my temperature is set at 850 on the station. My airflow setting is set to 40. And at those settings, when I measure the temperature using the FG100B, my airflow is at 844 Fahrenheit. All right, now let's go over how to change your temperature settings on the FR850, all right? So let's go ahead and turn the station on. You got the display up top. You got the set temperature. Right now it's set to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. And down below, that P1 means preset number 1. And that 50 is I'm at a 50% airflow setting, okay? So if I want to change the temperature on my FR850, there's actually a couple different ways that you can do this. One is to use the preset feature, and the other one is a more manual method, is to go ahead and use the temperature button. I'm gonna go over both ways right now. If I want to use the preset feature, guess what I do? I press the preset button, which is this one. Press that one time. P1 is flashing down below. That means I'm taking a look at preset number 1. Preset number 1, I have everything set to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. Timer is off, and airflow setting is set to 50% airflow. 600, timer's off, airflow is at 50. Now, if I use the up and down buttons, I can scroll through the different presets. Preset 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have up to 5 different presets that you could program into the station. So in this case, let's just say I want to change from 600 degrees Fahrenheit to 750, right? I go to the 750 preset, which is preset 3. I hit enter, and there you go. Real simple, real fast way that I can change my temperature settings on the FR850 to use the preset feature, right? If I want to change it back from 750 to 600, again, press the preset button, go back to preset 1, hit enter, boom, there you have it. 750 to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. Airflow setting, 50%, I'm at preset number 1. That's the more fast, like I said, the more faster way you can make changes to your temperature setting. The other way, which is a more manual way, is to just simply, if you want to change the temperature, press that temperature button on your station. Once I hit that temperature button, you're going to see this temperature icon appear on the left-hand side of your display. That just means you're about to make changes to your temperature setting. From here, you can use the up and down button. Again, if I want to change it from 600 degrees Fahrenheit to 750, I'm going to go ahead and press the up button because I want to increase the temperature. And so once I get to 750, after that, make sure you hit the temperature button. That's like your enter button. So make sure you hit that one time. This timer icon, leave that as off. So hit that one more time. And there you go. I just changed my temperature setting from 600 degrees Fahrenheit to 750 degrees Fahrenheit. Now the other setting adjustment that you want to know how to change is the airflow on our FR850s. In order to change the airflow setting on the FR850 manually, you press the air button. Press that one time. Now you're going to see the fan icon appear on the left-hand side of your display. Right now I'm at 50% airflow. From here, you can use the up and down button to decrease the airflow setting. The lowest you can set it to is at 5%. If you want to increase, you press the up button. The maximum airflow setting is at 100%. So you can see you're allowed to change the airflow setting anywhere from 5% all the way up to 100% in increments of 5. So say I want to go from 50% to 75, I just go to 75 and make sure I hit this temperature button, or that's like your enter button, confirming button. Hit that one time, and there you have it. Airflow setting, I just changed it from 50%, now it's at 75%, okay? So those are a couple different ways you can change your temperature on the FR850. Okay, so we just went over the temperature setting, we just went over the airflow setting. The third important component for hot air rework station is the timer. I like to control the on and off of the station by me pressing the start or stop button, but sometimes operators like to enter a timer setting, right? You can do that on the FR850 by pressing the temp button. You can hit the temp button once, same procedure as you would to change your temperature setting. So you hit the temp button. The temperature icon will pop up, and then if the temperature is where you want it to be at 800, so I want it to use it at 800, so no change there. I hit it once to confirm. Now this is where you are allowed to change your timer settings. So that icon, it's kind of like a watch, like a stopwatch icon that'll pop up on the bottom portion of the display. And right now it says off. That means there is no current timer setting input into the station. If you press the up or down keys or the buttons, then you'll be able to scroll through. It says closed for closed timer, and then press it again, open for open timer, right? So you can select between open, closed, or not use a timer setting at all. And if you're not using a timer setting at all, then that just means you control the on-off by whether it be the start button on the handpiece or the start-stop button on the station itself, right? If you choose to use a timer option, say an open, that means the timer is open-ended. So what does that mean? That means that the station is going to start to count down its time after it has reached its set temperature. Whereas if you choose closed, that means everything is closed from start to finish. So as soon as you hit the start button, then it's going to immediately start to count down the timer that you have set. So say you have 30 seconds set for, then it's immediately going to start after you press the start button, start the countdown from 30 seconds. Whereas if you choose open, then after you hit the start button, it's not gonna start its countdown immediately, but it's gonna go to its set temperature. Once it reaches 800 degrees Fahrenheit, in this case, then it'll start its countdown. That's the difference between opened and closed timer settings. Again, I like to keep that setting off when I'm normally using it, because I like to control it with my switch, whether it be on the handpiece or whether it be on the station itself. So I always like to keep that setting as off. Once you select your proper setting, just press the enter button one more time, and then it'll bring you back to your standard display of your set temperature and your airflow setting down at the bottom. All right, so like I said, the timer control, I like to keep it off. Temperature and airflow, that'll depend on the component that you're working with, the application that you're dealing with, right? So you want to set the proper airflow, you want to find the proper temperature and the airflow. But like I said, I like to keep that timer off, and I like to control it with the on-off button on the handpiece or the station. So there is like I explained in the very beginning, there's a button on the handpiece. You can use that, but there's also a start-stop button on the station itself, and that is located on the very top area of the station that you see here. So you can press it, and you can see that the temperature is ramping up. It hit 800 degrees Fahrenheit, and you'll notice that you see a line of blue light, okay? Now, I can either, in order to stop it, I can place it in the holder, I can press the switch on the handpiece, or again, I can press this button on the top of the station. And when I do that, you'll see the line of blue light, now it's blinking. That means the station is cooling itself off from 800 degrees Fahrenheit all the way down to about 200 degrees in Fahrenheit, right? So again, I can press the button on the handpiece. It goes all the way up, reaches temperature, gives me that beep. I do my work on my application. I'm done. I place it back into the holder. Starts flat. The blue light starts blinking. It's cooling itself off. And once it hits about 200 degrees Fahrenheit, then it has entered that sleep mode, right? So that's the solid blue light in comparison to the blinking blue light that you see on the station. There's another indicator, and that is when it gives off an error message, right? So what am I talking about? For example, if I don't have a connector attached, it'll give me a sensor error, and then you'll notice that the blue line is now a red. It's signifying something wrong with the station. You're seeing an error with the station. So it goes from, in that case, it goes from a blue into a red light, red line of light at the top of the station. So those are the different variations, whether you see a blue solid light, a blinking blue light, or a red light, right? So one indicates that it's heating up, that it's in operation. The blinking means that it's cooling down, and the red means that something is wrong with the station. All right, welcome back. So now that we talked about the specs, features, benefits, how to use the operation of the FR-A50, let's get into the Hako control software and how the FR-A50 works with our Hako control software, all right? So you're gonna wanna download the software onto your PC. And then once you do that, open up the application. You'll get a small screen like this. Make sure that it's connected properly and then hit start. When you do that, you want to make sure the station is turned on first so that the control software detects it, and then you'll be able to open up a window that looks like this. Up top it says Hako control software FR-A50. Just going to go through some of the different windows. This is the ID number that I have put into the station. The status is on standby. The current set temperature I'm using is preset 5 at 850 degrees Fahrenheit. Current offset, there's no offset in there. There's no timers on there. The airflow setting is at 50%. This is your current sensor temperature, and these are your preset numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And preset 5, 850 degrees Fahrenheit, no timer, 50% airflow. That's the start and stop button right there. And then down below, I'll start with this icon. This is a temperature icon. If you click on that, it'll give you the temperature, the current temperature of 850 degrees. So all of the settings you have control through the station or through the Hako control software as well. So if you want to change your temperature, you can simply scroll through, hit confirm. And I've just now changed the set temperature, 850 degrees Fahrenheit to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's, again, this temperature icon. You can change your set temperature like so, or simply by selecting one of the pre-programmed preset temperatures, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So I could click on 2, and that also change your set temperature as well on the Hako control software. Now the temperature, airflow, and time, right? So next one is the air, this fan looking icon. I click on that. Guess what you can do? You can change the airflow. So I mentioned that when I was talking about the station, 5 to all the way up to 100%, right? In increments of 5. So I can change it to 70, hit confirm. That changed it from 50% to 70%, right? So again, the fan icon will change the airflow setting. Hit confirm, and there you go. Okay, the other one is the timer setting. That's this stopwatch icon, looking icon down here below. I click on that. You'll be able to change the timer settings on your station by using the control software. First of all, right now the setting is timer setup is set for off. That means there is no timer setting currently on my FR850. But if I do change that to open, and then let's see, to make things easy and fast, I'll just change that to say 10 seconds and hit confirm. You'll notice that the timer went from a dash dash dash. Now I have a stopwatch icon here. O means open timer, and the actual timer setting of 10 seconds. So what that will now do when I pick up the handpiece and hit start, that is going to heat up. Once it reaches 700 degrees, it's going to start its countdown. So that is using the open timer, and once it cools all the way down to 200 degrees, then it'll turn off, right? Going back to the timer, so that was in the opened timer. An example of how a closed timer would work with the same amount of time in seconds. I hit confirm. The only difference is next to the timer icon, now you see a C for closed timer, same amount of seconds. And if I hit start, you'll notice that it's going to start its countdown right away before it reached 700 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's the difference between opened and closed timer. Now I usually just like to use it in the off mode, so I'm going to go back to off, hit confirm, and then it'll go back to timer dash dash dash. Okay, so that was the temperature, the airflow, and the timer. The three main components when it comes to hot air rework: temperature, timer, and airflow, right? On the right hand side of the screen, you have the temperature graph of the hot air from the FR850. Okay, so right now it's cooled itself off. If I turn it on, my set temperature is 700 degrees Fahrenheit, and my airflow is set to 45% airflow. And you will see this is the sensor temperature. So depending on the airflow, it is maintain itself at an average of 700 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll see that line right here, right? And this is the actual sensor temperature, that way you're seeing here on the graph. Okay, so you get that graph. You can choose to auto save it, so that every time you the station turns on, it's recording the temperature, or you can select bits and pieces from it. So you can choose when you want to start the recording or when to stop the recording. So you can also record this data as well. Okay. So that's the graph on the right hand side of the screen. Now there's this auto cal feature that we also have with our other soldering irons, soldering stations as well. Once you open that up, you can first of all set the conditions, so the temperature range, the plus or minus. So you can select plus or minus 25, plus or minus 30, or it gives you a maximum of plus or minus 45 degrees Fahrenheit, right? So you first set those conditions and then hit confirm. And then once you start it, that's when you would want to take the measurement using the tip thermometer and the thermocouple, and the method that I showed you earlier where you connect the thermocouple to the iron holder and make a measurement with the FG100B thermometer. And what that will allow you to do once you take a measurement is you can record that information onto your PC. It'll be saved under Hakko Control Software 850. It's called the AutoCal results. Open that up, and what that will look like, it'll save it as a CSV file. Looks something like this. Station ID, if you input a station ID, it'll record that information. It'll give you the handpiece that is attached, FR8501, the date, the time, and in comparison to your set temperature, what those results were. So I have various measurements that I took here. For example, one is I have a set temperature of 900 degrees Fahrenheit. My allowable window was plus or minus 45 degrees. My measured temperature was 1140. So that was way outside of my set temperature and even outside of the allowable offset range. So my result was a fail. Another instance I recorded was 900 degrees Fahrenheit. My measured temperature was 912 degrees Fahrenheit. It was well within the plus or minus 45 degrees Fahrenheit window, so my result was a pass. Another example is same 900 degrees Fahrenheit. My measured was 856 Fahrenheit. Still outside of the plus or minus 30 window that I had set for the AutoCal settings, but it was still within the range of the allowable offset range. So what did it do? It input an offset of 44 degrees Fahrenheit. I took a measurement again. So the measurement was 856 initially. It input the offset, and then the temperature after the offset was 906 Fahrenheit. So result was again a pass. So the point is, it record this type of information for you. It'll automatically save it in a CSV file if you use if you connect the Hakko Control Software with our FR850. Now the last icon I would like to talk about is this parameter settings. If you open that window up, it'll give you access to our system parameters, or we call it parameter settings here. But you can see the very top left-hand window is alarm menu, for example. So it says alarm, error alarm, ready alarm. By default, they're both turned on. You can decide if you don't like the loud beeps, you can turn them off if you want, right? Once you make changes to your system parameters, you just want to make sure that you hit confirm, right? That way, you hear that beep, it means that the control software has now uploaded that information onto this station, right? And there's different settings, changes to your settings that you can make. You can fully customize your system parameters. For example, the other one is this quick start enable. You can turn that on or off, right? And then you could save it. And you can load various system parameters once you've saved them. So, for example, if you click the load button, I have here saved 4 different types of examples that I have made previously. So, for example, quick start enabled, I'll call that one up. I'll open it. Now it has uploaded that parameter onto the software, and from here all you have to do is hit the confirm button, Now the software has uploaded that setting onto my station. So all I've changed is the ready alarm. I changed that to off. And then I changed the quick start enable to on. So what does that do? When that feature was turned off, I would have to either hit the start button on the station or the start button on the handpiece to activate the heater or the hot air, right? But now that I have the quick start enabled, what it will do is, without pressing any of the buttons, I just pick up the handpiece from the holder and the hot air will start to activate, right? So that's the quick start enable feature. You have that capability to turn that feature on or off within the system parameters. And after you're done working, obviously you want to put your handpiece away onto the holder and it'll start its cool off, all right? So that's an example of a quick start enable feature. Going through the different parameters, there's ones like, this one's a good example, the lock menu. This is what we call password lockout. So right now everything is in the unlock mode. You see everything is unlocked. But if you want to use like a partial or a fully locked mode, you can also do that. I have one already built. Password partial is the one I've created. So everything was unlocked previously, but I call this one up. Now it's at partial. I have a password in there, and the only access I have to for this one is the preset selection. So I have that unlocked. Everything else is locked. So I can't change the offset. I can't change temperatures. No timer changes, no airflow settings. All I have access to change is the presets. So again, once I call out the file onto the parameter settings, then I would go back and confirm it. Now the station has read the system parameter, and also the way you can see is if you look on the display now of the FR850, on the very top right hand corner of the display, you'll see this small lock icon. That means I'm currently using the password lockout feature. It's in partial, right? So I should have access to changing the presets. So if I press the preset button, there it is. I can scroll through the different presets, hit enter, and I can still change the presets just how I intend it to work. If I want to change the offset or the temperature or the airflow, let's try that. Nope, I would have to input the password that I have programmed. What about the temperature? Same thing. What about the airflow? Same thing. So offset, temperature, and airflow, I need to input the password to gain access to it, but only the presets. I can go through and change and select different presets just how I intend it to work on the password lockout menu. This feature is very, it's very useful if you want to limit the amount of changes you want to give your operator, the amount of access you want to give your operator. So this is a nice feature to know how to use. Down here below is ID, station ID. Right now I just have set 202504. You can put in any other ID that you would want to and store that information. And then over here you have your preset link setting menus. On the FR850, I explained that you are allowed to program up to 5 different preset temperature, airflow, and time settings. Well, what you can do with the FR850 is also you can link and combine those up to 5 preset settings. Down here below is number of link presets. You can link up to 5 of those presets, right? Or 3, however you want it. If you do 3, it's just preset 1, 2, and 3 that'll be linked. And each of the presets, you can select the actual preset number that you would like to have running for that current preset 1, 2, or 3 in this case, right? I have something saved. FR850 parameter preset linked. Call that one up, open it up on the system parameters. So you can see that I have the preset link enabled on. Number of presets is 3. 1, 2, and 3. So for 1, 2, and 3, I have preset 1, 2, and 3. So preset 1, 500 degrees, for 10 seconds at an airflow of 50. Preset 2, 700 degrees Fahrenheit. Another timer of 10 seconds at an airflow of 50. And preset 3 is at 750 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 seconds airflow setting of 50. And for all of them, I have the timer set to opened and not off. And again, once you load that onto your software screen, make sure you confirm it so that it'll upload that information onto your station. Now what will it do once I go back and then hit start? You'll see up here, it's open 10 seconds. Once it reaches 500, it's gonna start its countdown. And since it's a preset linked, there it is. After it's done with preset 2, it's preset 1, sorry, it's gonna move over to preset 2. Once it has gone through preset 2, then it's gonna move on to preset 3. So that's what it means when it's preset link feature. It's linking the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 presets. All right. So that is the preset link feature. Another neat feature that you'll find on the FR850, and you have control over that. You can link up to whether it's 3 or 5 and give it a different name if you're linking 5 presets and do it that way. When you're using the control software, another thing that I like to do is right off the bat, when I open up the software, when I still have the default settings on the parameter settings, I will go in and save a default parameter setting, and I'll just give it a name. I'll call it FR850 parameter default. That way, whenever I make changes and I want to go back to the default settings, you can do an initial reset on the station itself, but I just like to create one that's called default. That way I can go back and I can go back to the default settings by using the Hako control software system parameters, right? So if you have multiple FR850s and you want to duplicate parameter settings on, say, 5 or 10 of these stations, it's really easy. All you have to do is save it, give the parameter a name, load it, and then go back and confirm it onto your station. So you create a name, parameter 5, for example. You save it, unplug it, plug it into the next station, and then upload it onto the station 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's a really easy, quick and fast, easy way where you can duplicate the settings from one station to another. You wouldn't have to go in, press and hold the up button, enter the system parameters manually through the station, and toggle through the different parameters, 1, 2, 7, 8, 18. You don't have to do all that. Using the Hako control software makes it a whole lot easy, saves you a ton of time to duplicate the systems on your Hako stations. So overall, there's different changes, different uses that you get with the Hako control software, but a lot of it has to do with data logging capabilities and a lot of process control that you'll get with the Hako control software. So that again is included with the FR850, comes with no additional cost, and you'll be able to download that from our website, www.hakousa.com. All right. Again, if you have any additional questions, whether it be about the station itself or whether it be about the Hako control software, you can reach out to us. Our email at support@hakousa.com, or give us a call, 1-800-88-HAKO. That's 1-800-88-HAKKO. Again, I appreciate you guys tuning in to the very end, going over the control software as well. I hope everyone found it helpful. Pretty soon I'll be going over the next video, so remember, always keep your eye on Hako. Thanks, guys.